And what do you mean by, I think the wording was finding a time safe for you to talk about things. I think that's a really important
Hmm.
subject.
Yeah, exactly. So I think like there's so many things that go on in everybody's lives, and everyone has a different walk of life and different things that they're dealing with. And so taking that time to really sit down with someone totally separate from your life in counseling, and unpack the things that you're going through to an individual that's not biased towards you and might have a lot of really good coping techniques for you, to carve out that time in your week or every second week or every third week, even, to just kind of sit down and really reflect on where you are at. And I find it like it's obviously very therapeutic, like that's what it is, it's therapy. And it can be really tough to go, but definitely you take that time, that hour out of your week to just kind of sit with whatever you're dealing with. And it could be anything, right? Like anybody who is dealing with something that hinders their everyday life should go to counseling. So that might be even, I deal a lot with anxiety. So anxiety to not leave my room and anxiety to maybe not go out in public or even go for a walk. That is something that hinders my everyday activities. So that's something that I probably should unpack with a counselor. And it could be as minor as, yeah, not being able to leave your house to bigger things that might have happened. So, yeah, I think counseling has definitely been a very important part of my university career.
Yeah, I started to go to therapy after my, during, at the beginning of my fourth year. My coach had
Mhm.
recommended it for a few years. He really pushed me to get into it, and I kind of waved him off, waved him off, waved him off because I thought that it
Mhm.
was something um, that you needed to do if you were broken in a severely obvious way, I guess.
Yeah.
And over time, I kind of realized that maybe I wasn't apparently broken to myself because I had been around myself for so long, but there was a lot of stuff that I had to work through, and so I
Mhm.
finally took it as his advice and was all the better for it, and so I really enjoyed that.
Mhm. And I think that's the biggest hurdle for people going to counseling, like you said. You think that you have to have gone through this major thing, and really, it could be anything. Like, I think we all almost all of us, I think, kind of belittle our own circumstances. Whereas if you were talking to a friend, like your coach probably has a totally different walk of life than you, but they recognize something in you that you would probably benefit from counseling. And so you would say to your friend, like, this is an important thing. I think you should go and maybe check out this, maybe try counseling and see if it's a good fit for you. Whereas you don't really identify that in yourself because we tend to, well, someone has it harder than me and I don't really have it that hard. Like it'll be fine when really, um, we need to take that kind of accountability almost to be proactive in our own mental health and understand that like your struggles are totally valid regardless of what they are. Like someone might have a harder circumstance than you, but someone might have not as hard of a circumstance from you. But something that I've learned is whatever you are dealing with is probably the hardest that you've ever had to deal with. And that is important to understand in yourself. So there's, yeah, difficulties that everyone faces, but what you're dealing with is totally valid to go and see someone.